Hey, welcome. Get ready because today we're going on an absolutely epic adventure. We're going to follow one single drop of water as it makes its way all around our planet. It's going to be awesome. So let's meet our guide for this trip. This is Dewey the Droplet. And trust me, he knows a thing or two. He's going to show us all the secrets of something called the water cycle.
Okay, so before we jump into Dewey's journey, let's back up a little. First things first, where does all this water, live on Earth? Let's find out. I mean, think about it. Water is everywhere, and everything needs it. From the tallest trees you can imagine to the tiniest little bugs. Plants, well, they're thirsty. They need it to grow. And animals, they've got to drink it every single day to survive.
And that's the whole point, right? This journey we're about to follow is so important. It's this amazing cycle that makes sure there's always fresh, clean water for all of us. All right, you ready? Let's dive into the first major step of the journey. It's called the Great Updraft, or evaporation. This is where things get really exciting for Dewey. His adventure is about to take off, literally, with a little help from our friend the sun.
So this first part of the trip is called evaporation. And what is that exactly? Well, it's just a fancy way of saying that liquid water gets heated up and turns into a gas. It's a pretty cool trick, actually.
I bet you've actually seen this happen a million times and maybe didn't even know it. You know, when you hang wet laundry outside on a sunny day, after a while, it's dry. Where'd the water go? It didn't just disappear, it evaporated. It turned into a gas and floated away into the air.
So for our buddy Dewey, who's maybe just hanging out in the lake, the sun's warm rays are like a super-powered elevator. They give him so much energy that he starts feeling lighter and lighter until whoosh, he lifts off and starts floating up into the sky as an invisible gas called water vapor.
So there he goes, floating higher and higher. But what happens next? Well, we're on to stage 2, building a cloud. The scientific name for this is condensation. And you know what? Dewey's not going to be flying solo for very long.
See, as Dewey gets way up there, the air starts to get really, really cold. And that cold air causes another amazing transformation to happen. Yep, you guessed it, that's condensation. And look at this, he's finding friends. Millions of other little water vapor particles are up there with him. The cold air makes them all want to group together, kind of like a big huddle. And when they do, they change back from a gas into teeny tiny little liquid water droplets. So here's a question for you. What do you think happens when millions and millions of these tiny little water drops all get together in one spot in the sky? You got it. They form a cloud. It's like they're building this huge, fluffy, floating city made of water that we can see from way down here on the ground. Okay, so we've got our cloud. Now what? Let's move on to part 3, the big fall. The science word is precipitation. So Dewey and all his friends have built this massive cloud city, but what happens when it gets, a little too full? Too crowded? Okay, check this out. This number is gonna blow your mind. One single rain cloud, just one, can hold about 1 billion water droplets. A billion. That is a ton of Dewey's friends all crammed into the same space. And when you get that many droplets all bunched up, they start to get really, really heavy. Eventually, they become so heavy that the air just can't hold them up anymore. And that is what leads to our next stage, precipitation. It's just a way to describe any kind of water, liquid or even solid, that falls from the clouds because of gravity. Most of the time, we just call it rain.
So down they come. Dewey and his cloud buddies are now falling back to Earth as rain. And you know what? The ground is thirsty. All the plants and the soil are getting a much-needed drink.
So Dewey has made it back to Earth. But wait, the journey's not over. Not by a long shot. We've reached the final stage of this loop, collection, or as I like to think of it, the journey starts again. So, what's collection all about? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just where all that water that fell from the sky gathers up, getting stored and ready for the whole amazing adventure to start all over. It doesn't matter where Dewey lands, on top of a mountain, in a grassy field, gravity's gonna do its thing. It'll pull him and all the other droplets downhill where they'll flow into little streams. Those streams turn into rivers, and those rivers eventually lead to big lakes or even the huge oceans. So yeah, Dewey could wind up in a river, a lake, the ocean. He can even soak deep into the ground and get slurped up by a plant's roots.
He might stay in one spot for a little while, but eventually, you know it's coming. The sun's going to warm him up, and that incredible journey is going to kick off all over again.
And this is the part that is just so cool. It means that all the water on our planet, I'm talking about the water in your water bottle right now, has been doing this for billions of years. Think about it. The water you're drinking today could have been drunk by a dinosaur. How wild is that?
So, as we wrap this up, just think about that for a second. The water you drink today might have been frozen inside a giant glacier, or maybe it even shot out of a volcano as steam. Dewey's journey, the journey of every water droplet, it never, ever ends. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? Where will the water you use today go on its next big adventure?